So I was woken in the middle of the night by a thud on the hull of our boat. And when I came up on deck, we found that we were surrounded by pieces of plastic in the ocean. It didn't make any sense. At the time, we were 1,000 miles from nearest land. The closest people to us were in the space station in orbit above our heads. And yet, there was this evidence of human life and waste in the water all around us.
There was a huge discussion at the Times. Why don't you just cut out 25% of plastics from your daily use, my editor said to me. He looked at me with my plastic coffee cup. That would solve the problem. And God, it's easy. So easy, I can't believe I ever used so much plastic before. And if I can do it, anyone can do it.
It's a problem that affects all of us. And that's why we've seen such a huge outcry in terms of political and public concern recently. But there's two other things that I think makes plastic pollution stand out. And certainly, unlike climate change, there's no crazy skeptics who are denying the science there. The facts are obvious there to us all, and we've heard them all tonight. And I think there's a third thing, again, as Will touched on, that we can all make a difference. Not only can we make a difference, but we can do so very quickly and very easily.
Here tonight is how to lose a stone and make money on the plastic-free diet. First, get a milkman or a milkwoman. Seriously, why didn't we invent them before? They come to your house, they arrive in electric vans, bearing glass bottles of delicious, far creamier milk than in a carton. They're simple to open, and they don't taste synthetic. They then take all your old bottles away. It's genius.
We're working on plans for other plastic trays and bags, single-use carrier bags, plastic milk and juice bottles that will reduce Iceland's total plastic footprint by 16,000 tonnes a year by 2023. It can and it will be done.
I don't even need to go into disposable coffee cups. Just don't, if any of you still do. And you know who you are. Get a reusable cup.
Is it really deliverable? So, yes, we've made a start with product lines we've actually been working on for the last 12 to 18 months. In February, we launched these two new frozen meal lines in paper-based trays, rather than the hitherto ubiquitous, nasty, black plastic trays. These are 85% plastic-free, but we're still using a thin plastic coating to seal the paper tray, and the plastic film on top as well. But in line with our determination not to solve one problem by creating another, we've ensured that the trays are fully recyclable in the paper waste stream. By the end of 2018, we'll have switched all of these black CPET trays to a paper-based or aluminium alternative, removing, get this, 100 million of these non-recyclable, high-carbon, single-use trays from circulation. And that alone will save 2,000 tonnes of plastic every year.
When we get the samples back on board and analyse them, we have to try and distinguish what's plastic and what's plankton. And it amazes me just how hard it is to work out the difference between these two. And it made me wonder, how do the fish cope figuring out what's food and what's plastic? We started catching fish, and we found plastic in the stomachs of those fish as well. So this started opening up new questions. What might the implications be on us as well? If this plastic is getting into the food chain, the same food chain that we are at the top of, then what might that mean? So a few years ago, I decided I wanted to know, is this something that we even need to worry about? And decided to test my own blood for these chemicals that we're finding in the plastic and in the fish in our seas. Working together with the United Nations, we picked 35 chemicals that are banned because they're toxic to humans. And of those 35 chemicals, we found 29 of them inside my body.
Water bottles. There is no excuse ever. You do not need to buy 16 million plastic bottles of water a day if you have a tap anywhere nearby. Britain has almost the safest water in the world. Get a metal water bottle. Lobbying for drinks fountains is a good idea. And buy a soda stream if you're missing out on bubbles.
This heightened consumer expectations as well that are going to force brands, people who have signed up to things like the Plastics Pact, to live up to the promises that they make when they sign these documents and live up to the new values that people expect from big companies. Now, that's incredibly important because the other thing that raised expectations do is that they make sure that all of this remains a part of the cultural conversation that we're constantly having, businesses between themselves, their partners, and the public as well. And this is where brands can deliver as well. And it's not just the brands who have tangible products to offer. This is where our buddies who deal in audiences and attention can help massively as well, our brothers and sisters in the media.
The time for action is now, and it's up to us all not to kick the proverbial plastic bottle down the street. We can all join a beach clean. We can all lead a plastic-free community. Government must legislate to incentivize industry to reconsider its plastic footprint and to stop the overuse of virgin plastics. Industry must use plastic-free policies as a market advantage to respond to the growing global community that demands it. A consumer revolt is already underway, and I urge businesses, and I congratulate Iceland, to continue with this meaningful response to this rapidly changing public opinion on plastics. We cannot put the genie of plastic pollution back in the bottle, and together we can create a plastic-free future.
There are many ways that we can tackle this problem, all the way from source to ocean, from product design to waste management. But we need to turn off the tap. We need to work at the source. And this upstream action is required across all sectors of society, designers in industry, policymakers at a government level, and all of us as individual consumers.
I'm personally thrilled that the plight of our oceans has finally hit the mainstream media. But now we must use that voice, and I think Lucy said that there's a huge amount of energy there, but we mustn't let it lie latent. We've got to act, and we must use that voice for there to be change in government, to be a change in legislation, to change the sort of corporate packaging, and also for us, importantly, to change our behavior. We can all do something about it. #refuse to use.